Hi, and welcome to the Notes and Discrepancies demonstration for the REPRIEVE project in OpenClinica. I'm going to be going over doing some data entry, getting a warning or a fail validation check during that data entry, how you would complete the form still with that warning or fail validation check, how you would then go back into the Notes and Discrepancies window to respond to that fail validation check, and also the best practices for going in and checking to see if you have any outstanding queries for your site, and resolving those queries and finding those queries. Go ahead and get started. We're going to do subject 1009 here, the month 1 visit. We're going to open that up, go to view or enter data, scroll down and go to the routine lab results form. We're going to enter our date of visit. We're going to use today's date. We're going to save. We're going to respond yes, that chemistry results were available, thus unlocking the remainder of the chemistries. We're going to enter our values for the chemistry results. Units. By reference. The lab specimen collection date we're going to use as today. ALT. Units per liter. High reference. And the collection date. Today. AST. Units per liter. High reference, and today's date. Alright, so we did all of our data entry for the chemistry section. It matches our lab results that we obtained from the subject. We're going to just reaffirm we entered everything correctly, and we're going to go ahead and hit the save button. So what happened here is we got a warning. Up at the top of the screen, the warning message says ALT/SGPT result is expected to be between 5.00 and 300.00. So if you scroll down, you can see the ALT/SGPT result has that exclamation point and a red box wrapped around it, and we have 4 entered into there, 4.00. So again, it would be outside of this range that the edit check believes it should be in, between 5 and 300. But our result, 4, is the actual reported value. There's nothing wrong here. You did everything correctly. It's just that the edit checks run to check for inadvertently entered data. We think that anything below 5 or greater than 300 could be mistakenly entered, or entered with a wrong decimal spot, something like that. Maybe you meant to enter 40, but in this case you did mean to enter 4. If you didn't mean to enter 4, if you meant to enter 40, here is where you would change that and you would save, and you wouldn't see that warning again. However, if it's 4.00, which is below our lower limit in this range check here, well, if that's the correct value, then we just go ahead and save through. As you can see, it took me out of that section B, and moved me on to section C. I hit the save button again after I got the warning, affirming that my data entry was correct and that the value was correct despite the warning message. I'm going to answer the hematology results available, no, and we're going to mark our CRF as complete, and we're going to hit save. So we can go back into this form in the view, and we can look at this form, and you can see that there is a red outstanding fail validation check note here. There's nothing else on this form besides that one. We can go ahead and exit out, and I'm going to show you how you should respond to that fail validation check. So just be sure you know what subject you're on, subject 1009. Be sure you know what form you're doing, routine lab results, and where you are, what visit you're at, month 1. and we're going to go into the Notes and Discrepancies link at the top of the screen here. So 1009 at the LBW0139 for month 1. We're going to go into Notes and Discrepancies, and I'm just going to quickly go over what all this information on the screen means here. We have this little table right here, the summary statistics. If you see, this breaks down into different categories here. Really all you have to worry about is anything that is in the row for new or has the red flag in that row. From there it breaks down between if it's a query or a failed validation check, a reason for change or annotation, and what the total number of these new flags are. As well, you can see that the updated, which we really don't use in the study, we do have resolution proposed, which is if you respond to a query and you set it to propose the resolution for that query, it will then be categorized as the green. Resolution proposed, meaning that all your duties for responding to the query are done. Also, you can see closed notes after a reason for change has been reviewed, and we affirm that the response you gave is adequate. We'll close that note, and then we'll also see the not applicables. The not applicables are the reasons for change or the annotations. In a couple other demonstrations, we provided reason for change after we changed some values, and another demonstration we entered an annotation when we didn't have a value. So without knowing that, these numbers can get quite high. You can have 20 failed validation checks at a time, 20 resolution proposed. You can have 50 not applicables. I mean, as you go out throughout the study, these are just going to total up more and more. And you can see down below here, there's this other table. And this other table breaks the information down further. Each one of these lines is an individual note, which is either a failed validation check, a query, a reason for change, or annotation. Each one is its own line here. And you can see the different colored flags, and you can see the different subject numbers, and there's a lot of information going on here, including the type of the note. You can see if it's a failed validation check, an annotation, failed validation check. You can see the site ID, which you should know your site. It'll show you what event it happened in, what visit, the CRF that it happened in, the field name, which you really don't need to know, the value that you entered that registered the query. So when we entered 4 here, that was the value we entered that registered the query. And we can also see the description, and the description is either if it's you responding to a resolution proposed, or I'm sorry, if it's you giving a reason for change, it'll be what you entered for that reason for change. However, if it's a new note, like this note here, we can see that it's telling us the ALT/SGPT result is expected between 5 and 300. So you can kind of get an overview of what's going on with these notes just by looking at them. But I want to show you another feature here. If it gets to a lot of queries, a lot of reasons for change, things like that, it only displays about 15 of these at a time. And you can change this to set it to be 50, or you can change it to be set to 25. But still, you can reach a point where even 50 doesn't make it, and you have to switch between the tables. It's easiest if you know the filtering and how the filtering works. So what you have to be concerned about, the only thing you have to be concerned about is new, the red flags, and the only thing you're looking for when you come in here to find the query that you generated is the new flags. So how do we find the new flags quickly? If you click on this gray box underneath resolution status, you'll see some pop-ups, and if we select new, it'll filter to only the new flags, meaning only the queries or failed validation checks that are currently outstanding. So that's how we can find right away the query or failed validation check that we just generated. So we have failed validation check there, and everything is laid out exactly as we entered it before. We can see the note. Now you have 2 actions you can take here. You can click on this view, and it'll pop up just the note, or you can click on this view within record. It will redirect you to the form itself, and it will also pop up the note. We're just going to pop up the note here Again, we just entered that data onto that chemistry or into that chemistry section for the routine lab results form, so we know what this note is directing us to. We're just going to pop open the view for the note. And this is what pops up. You can see the information again reiterated. You can see the ALT/SGPT. Result is expected between 530. You can see the value entered down here under new, and you can see the status of the note, which is new, meaning outstanding. Meaning the fail validation check is still waiting for you to respond to it. So how do you respond to this? You're going to hit propose resolution, and once you hit propose resolution, another child to this parent thread, this note, is going to pop up. And so what's this want? It wants you to give a resolution to the failed validation check. So what do you say in response to ALT/SGPT? Result is expected between 5 and 300, and our result as reported by our lab is 4. You just confirm that 4 is correct. So I'm just saying confirming that the value is correct. You could say the value is correct as per the lab report. You could say reporting the value as it was in the lab report. Anything that kind of gives me context to you saying that yes, this value of 4 is correct despite this warning message in this failed validation check. So there's our description for the response. Detailed note, don't need to enter. Status is already set to resolution proposed, and we don't want to change it. And we're going to go ahead and hit submit and exit. And it pops us back into the notes and discrepancies window, still under the filter of new for resolution status. Now let's change this filter to resolution proposed. We have 2 notes here. The one we just proposed a resolution to for 1009 is right here. So it's green now. It has the green flag. That is all you have to do to respond to a failed validation check or respond to a query, is to go into the notes and discrepancies through that link as we just did, click on view, give a response to what the message is, affirming that either that your value is correct, or if your value is incorrect, confirming that you changed the value, or that you're changing the value was incorrect. And that's how you respond to that type of note. And so we're going to set our filter off. Go back to the main. Again, you can see all of your reasons for change, and your resolution proposes now no more new failed validation checks or queries. So we are done responding in the notes and discrepancies. The next thing I'm going to cover is going to be when a query is generated by a data manager or put on our study, how to find that. Again, we're going to use the notes and discrepancies window, and I'll show you that in just a second. So say if you are coming back into OpenClinica and you need to check to see if you have any queries either weekly or bi-weekly during this process, the place you would go if you wanted to see if you had any queries is the Notes and Discrepancies link right here. And we would go to the Notes and Discrepancies link, and again, all you have to really look at is to see if anything falls under new. And right now we do have something for new. We have one new query. So there is one query that's outstanding for us, for our site, that needs to be responded to at the moment. So again, how do we filter through and find that? We're going to go ahead and click on new underneath resolution status, and we're going to filter, and we're only going to see now our new outstanding note. So what's this note entail? Well, right now we can tell that it's for subject 1009, it's a query, it's outstanding, it's new. It is on the month 1 visit for the routine lab results form on the AST value of 9, and here's our note. The statistician would like you to confirm this value is correct. So what happened here? Essentially, the statistician discussed with the data manager, maybe there was anomalous data, and for some reason they decided to query the value of 9 for the AST lab result. So what we would do now that we got this query, we have our option here of going to just view the note, or we could click on the view within record. And I'm going to show you the view within record right now. So this is going to jump us right to the form for data entry, and it's also going to pop up a window for the note, which I'll have us view separately. We're going to go ahead and click on this, and we're dropped right into our form that we entered data for earlier, except now there is a note, a red flag on question 4 AST SGOT result with a value of 9. So now we just reconfirm, check our lab results, make sure that 9 is the value that is correct. We just transcribed it correctly, which we did. So in that circumstance, we are just going to respond. Actually, it's more interesting is if we are wrong, if we need to change this value. So let's say we were wrong about this and it was not 9. We got queried, the value shouldn't have been 9, it should have been 19. We missed a 1. What we're going to do is we're going to A, change the value, and then B, respond to the note. And then C, also give a reason for change, because this is data has been saved to the database previously. It has this nice green check mark here saying data entry's been completed. We're changing something after it's been marked complete. So I'll show you the whole process for both giving a reason for change, changing a value, and responding to the query that you changed the value because the value was incorrectly entered. So what are we going to do? First, let's fix our value. We didn't mean to put 9 in there. We meant to put 19. You can see our field turns yellow. We get this little orange mark here. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. Alright, and we get our warning. You have changed data after the CRF was marked complete. You must provide a reason for change discrepancy note for this item before you can save this updated information. Alright, so we go down. We see that it's the field that we changed. The flag is still red here, but we changed it. So we need to give a reason for change. So we're going to click on the flag, and we're going to be taken into the note. And here's our note. So something slightly different this time from the last time you did a reason for change. A blank note did not pop up for you. Why did a blank note not pop up for you? Because a note is already on this field. So how do we give a reason for change when there is a query with a status of new? We do not touch this query. Instead, what we do is we begin a new thread, and we're going to do this entirely making the settings here. We're giving a reason for change. Why did we change 19 to 9? Value was incorrectly entered. Corrected by, and you could say, you know, your username, test user. And we're going to set the type for this to be a reason for change, because we're changing a previously saved value. And we're going to set the status of this to not applicable, which is the only thing it can be. And this time we're not going to hit submit and exit. We're just going to hit submit, because we just added a reason for change. We also have a query. So we're going to submit. It's going to tell us a new thread has been created successfully, and we're going to see 2 threads here now. And there's 2 different things going on. We have the new thread. The value was entered incorrectly entered, corrected by a test user, and it's a reason for change with a status of not applicable. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. We're saying why we changed something. Now really the only thing we have to worry about is this query that's still outstanding. So what do we do about that? We have to propose a resolution. We have to say was corrected per query and don't need to give a detailed note. Status is already set to us. It's going to say assigned to user. It's going to automatically assign it to the data manager who put the query on. If a data manager didn't put the query on, if it was a failed validation check, it wouldn't generate a user, or it would generate the root user or the system, which is the kind of auto check user. And then we are just going to hit submit. And actually we'll hit submit and exit here because that's all we have to do for this note. And then we'll drop back into our form. Now, again, another thing that's different this time. We did not get that nice little white and green flag here. Instead, we still have this red flag, and we still have this exclamation mark, even though we provided our reason for change and we responded to the query. What do we still have to do? We still have to hit save. And after we save this, it's going to pass us through. Because we changed something, we have to save. It's going to pass us through to the next section of the form, which is section C. We're just going to exit out of it. We're going to be dropped back into the notes and discrepancies. Again, it's filtered by new. We don't have anything that's new. So we'll unfilter that. We'll filter by resolution proposed just to show what we did for that note. So, for that note, we have it right here. No, which one is it? This one. And we propose the resolution to it. It's the middle one, the gray one. We propose the resolution to the query. It is no longer outstanding. We no longer have any outstanding queries. We do have some resolution proposed that we're waiting for the data manager to close out for us. We can take a look at this note and show again. There's the two notes in there, both the resolution proposed and the reason for change. Also, I can show you the reason for change if you want to see that. It's a little bit harder to find. You know what we can do? We can type in our study subject ID. Now we're filtered down to a study subject ID and a not applicable, which is a reason for change type. And it filters us down to 1, which is the one we entered. So we entered this. We can see what we entered. And that's really all you have to do for correcting a value based on a query, is you just have to both give a reason for change after you change the value, give a query response for the query also, and make sure you save the form again. If you have any questions, please email them to reprieve.dmc@fistrift.org.